Nice. Oh, and here we go. Live on YouTube. We always go live a few minutes early because we like to tell secrets to the YouTube people before the Facebook people show up.
What
So you
secret
got
are
a
you going to
minute.
tell them?
What do you want to share with the YouTube folks that
That
we
we
don't
were
want to share
ready.
with the Facebook?
We were ready to go live 5 minutes ago and we didn't.
We just sat there and talked behind the scenes.
We did. And then I drank water.
All right.
That's the
Well,
secret.
it's
Here, wait,
7
here's the
o'clock.
secret.
What?
Oh, I
Oh.
can't.
Well, Facebook doesn't look to be live yet, so you could tell one more secret.
Look at this cute little cement skull. It's based on a cat skull, and it makes me think of my forever cat who's gone. That was the cheerful secret of the day. Aren't you cheered?
All right, we're on Facebook, so that's time to cut that off. And here we are. Oh, we get it twice. That's amazing. So welcome to the production meeting. I am Rick Turoczy. I'm the producer of Mildly Interesting People. This is Cami Kaos. She is the talent and your host. What we do once a month is do a live stream of our production meeting. We have production meetings all the time, but those are really executive production meetings. So we are inviting you, the entire production team, the entire production crew, to join us for this production meeting. So if you're here, you're part of the production crew, welcome. Thanks for joining the production crew. We love having you here and hope you'll stick around for the whole thing. Dylan, nice to see you. And Hefty Goof, who I do not know, thanks for showing up on YouTube. I will be trying to monitor all the chat and the comments as best I can.
I will not.
But Cami can't see it, so you can say whatever mean things you want, and I will just tell her all the nice things that you say. So,
can we just
Cami,
have life function that way? Like, can I get that kind of
yes,
filter on
I will
reality?
be your filter for
Thank you.
everything. Anything you want to chat about before we get started with things?
Hi. Hello. How are you? I forgot how live production meetings work.
Yeah, well, there's an agenda that
There's
we
not
stick
really
to.
a lot for me to do here, but yeah, we do have an agenda.
If you don't, we can cross off small talk and just get right into it if you want
Let's
to.
have some small talk. You make up the small talk this time.
I don't really have any small talk. I mean, I'm glad people are here. Don't really have anything to report. I say we just get right into it.
You want to start with the questions? You just want to get right into the questions?
Well, no, I'll take people through the agenda.
Oh, okay. Gosh.
So that we want you to be prepared. Sorry we didn't get the agenda out to you ahead of time. We try and run it tight.
Should we start doing that? I mean, is that something that should be on the list?
I don't know. Maybe I should release it as a short. I should read the agenda. That sounds like a really exciting
I can read the agenda.
Sounds like a sleep aid if I read the agenda. So the agenda for the Mildly Interesting People production meeting is one small talk. We're done with that. Next, we'll go through mildly interesting questions. If you have never seen the show or you've never been here for the production meeting, mildly interesting questions are really a lightning round that we do with the guests. We ask the guests the same 4 questions. The 5th question is always a random one. And so in an effort to keep those questions fresh and test drive new questions, Cami and I use the production meeting to test drive questions with one another. So what will happen is Cami will ask me 5 questions. I'll answer as rapidly as I can. I'll turn around and ask Cami questions. Family Feud rules, so you can, if you get stuck, you can yell pass, but there's no timer, so you can't really avoid the question. We'll just come back to it or multiple questions at the end. So that's the mildly interesting question format. And if you like a particular question and you're watching on the live stream, please feel free to let us know, like, hey, you should add that one in, or that one's not so great, or I would have answered it this way, or whatever, it's interactive. This is interactive, so feel free to comment.
I feel like we should be picking a question from each week and asking our production team and followers to answer it. I'd like to know what the people have to answer questions.
That's a good idea. Let's plan for that next production meeting.
Okay.
Unless you have one handy, then we could do it. The other thing is you will hear a cat.
10 questions handy.
This is not part of the agenda, so I'm already going off the rails, but you will hear a cat. The software we use to record this cannot hear the cat, so he may come on screen, but we will ignore him unless he's on screen. So don't think we're being mean to the cat. It's just he won't appear on the actual production thingamajig. Cool. So back to the agenda. Mildly interesting questions. Then we'll go into stats. We always try and keep people up to date on what we're seeing in terms of YouTube subscribers and podcast and Instagram and all that kind of jazz. Then we have some real production work. We're going to discuss the
That's us ignoring the cat.
Yeah, we're not very good at it. We're going to discuss some equipment stuff that we have to chat about and want to get your opinion on. And then we're going to talk a little bit about stuff we're seeing happening on YouTube. And then we're out, and we'll try and answer your questions as best we can while we're broadcasting. And so you may see me staring off to the side. That's so I can see what y'all are talking about and hopefully participate in that. So please feel free to
he's reading the news. He's reading the news while we're talking.
Yeah, I have Netflix going over here on the side. Feel free to introduce yourself in chat to one another. If the chat goes off the rails and y'all want to chat with one another and just ignore us, that's all good too. So please feel free to use chat however you would like. Cami.
Yes.
Should we get into mildly interesting questions?
I'm just going to note that I forgot the pre-show making myself a drink thing. So that's disappointing. And all I've got is my giant cold bottle of water. But I'm not drinking enough water, so that's okay. I'm ready to do questions. Spike, do you need to join us for questions?
Spike is ready for questions too.
Do you want to come over for questions, dude? Okay, he's not joining us. Are you ready for questions, Rick?
I'm as ready as I'm going to get.
Okay. I went a little loosey-goosey this week. I just kind of felt my way through the questions earlier today. So I present to you 5 questions. 3 of them are really going to be speed. Okay?
Yep.
The first question, what is it like to have grown up with a common name? Your name is Rick.
Turoczy.
Well, no, I'm talking about your first name, just your first name.
Oh, yeah.
You had years in school when it was like you and like 5 other Ricky, like, and there's a noted phenomenon watching a movie or a TV show with you where you don't like to watch movies where the main character's name is Rick. So talk to me about that, because I have no real understanding of that.
Is there a question in there? That's just
what's it like to grow up with a common name?
It's not as common as it used to be. Like, to your point, Rick used to be really common when I was a kid. It's less common now. I found it an interesting juxtaposition to have a really common first name and a really uncommon last name. That was always this, they'd be like, Rick T, are you around, kind of thing. Nobody ever, I get a Rich every once in a while. I mumble so much. I get a Greg sometimes, but like on my Starbucks cup or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's convenient. Like, if people know your name and it's a common name, then they usually spell it right and usually pronounce it right and all that kind of jazz. I guess I've never really thought about it, except for those situations where, yes, I went by Richard one year in elementary school because there were 5 Ricks in the class. So there was literally a Rick, a Ricky, a Richie. I was Richard, and it wasn't Dick. It was something else. Anyway, maybe they went by their initials, like they were RJ or something like that. But yes, so from time to time it does cause issues, but seriously, it hasn't caused any issues since I was like 8.
Okay. Thank you for answering.
Mm.
Question number 2. In the city or out in the country?
Ooh, probably country more than city. Like, I like to visit the city, but I would prefer to live in the country.
Excellent. Basil or oregano?
I use more oregano. So I use more dry oregano. I probably use more fresh basil. So it's a toss up for me, but I use more oregano probably.
Okay. Zombieland or Shaun of the Dead?
In terms of watchability, time and time again, I'm always going to have to pick an Edgar Wright film. So Shaun of the Dead, I think. Although Zombieland is really good.
Yeah. All right, last question.
Yes.
If you have to drive somewhere tomorrow and it has to be beautiful between 2 and 6 hours from where you currently are, where do you go?
We live in a tough region to make
Yes.
that decision. Probably the coast. I think the coast is the easiest one. It's always easy to find a less crowded place on the coast than like Multnomah Falls or whatever.
Thank you. You have answered my 5 questions.
Excellent. Those were pretty easy this week. Thank you. Thank you
I
for
didn't
taking
feel
it
like
easy
harassing you.
on me.
You're welcome.
Well, and Ryan was nice enough to chime in on the questions on the YouTube chat. So, city basil, especially on fresh things, on the basil, not the city, and Zombieland, and would probably check out the redwoods. So
Nice. Very nice.
that's Ryan. Ryan, thanks for chiming in. Appreciate it. Okay, Cami, yours will likely not be this easy because I'm never nice on the mildly interesting question. But are you ready?
No, let's do it.
All right, sweet. Start with an easy one. What is your favorite mushroom?
I don't remember the names of all the mushrooms. There's one in this one, like we get this one. I think it's like a Maya something.
You're looking at the wrong guy.
Yeah,
like I would know very few mushrooms.
I do really like the long, skinny legs with the little tiny pop cap. It's not an gnocchi, but it looks like an gnocchi mushroom. I don't know. I really like mushrooms. I like mushrooms, but I don't care what they're named. I don't care what they're named. I really like chanterelle mushrooms.
Okay, and there you go. That's a good one.
You like that? Okay. Shiitake is the one that we probably eat most frequently at home, aside from button.
Cool. Is that your final answer?
I didn't really answer the question. I love all mushrooms.
Ryan said Super Mario mushrooms.
Which Ryan is it?
Dylan said lion's mane. I don't know which Ryan it is. I assume it's Ryan Negri, but I don't know. But we'll see.
Ryan, you are correct. Super Mario mushroom is the right answer. And whatever mushroom you put in your stroganoff is the other right answer, I think.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. So good on mushroom. And Ryan kind of telegraphed it. Mario or Luigi?
Luigi.
Huh. Why?
Because Luigi is the underdog. Mario is the one that everyone pays attention to. Luigi is the little brother. Mario is the one that's like, oh, I've got to take care of everything. Luigi just gets forgotten. Also, we just watched the Mario movie, and Charlie Day was brilliant as Luigi. I thought it was a lot of fun. So yeah, Luigi, because I feel like Luigi carries like the weight of everything, but doesn't get any of the glory.
All right, that's fair. I thought it might be a color thing too, that you like green better than red or something.
I love the color red.
Yeah. All right. Good answer. And Ryan agrees with Luigi. So there you go. What is one band from the 1980s that you wish you had the ability to see live in the
REM.
80s? Any particular album or tour?
No, but just
Just
REM.
80s REM?
80s REM. I would have loved to see 80s REM. I wasn't old enough to be out running around going to concerts and stuff.
Huh. All right. Cool. Good answer.
Okay.
Would you rather be born with a mutant power or later imbued with a superpower?
I'm gonna need some clarification because,
So you,
go ahead,
yeah,
clarify.
so like you could be a mutant like Storm or Rogue or Gambit, and you're just born that way. Or you could be like Spider-Man or like Green Lantern or like somebody who inherited powers when they were already grown.
I would rather be born with my mutant ability.
Okay, why?
I fundamentally, though I really struggle, like who I am. And I believe that who I am is a series of who I've been throughout my entire life in every moment. And I really feel like there's power and control in that. And I don't like the idea of having something just suddenly thrust upon me out of nowhere
Mhm.
and having to deal with it and change my entire life. What if I've set up a really good, positive life that I like, and you throw this other thing out there and it just shatters the lives of myself and other people? No. Also, trauma. There's a lot of trauma involved in suddenly getting superpowers. I mean, Spider-Man gets bit by a spider that's radioactive and he goes through like this horrible illness. And then he becomes he kind of becomes a jerk for a little while he's adjusting to everything. I want to get all
Mhm.
of my jerkiness and angstiness done with like I already did. So I would rather be born with my mutant ability and
Okay,
learn how to control it as I'm coming up.
good answer.
Thank you.
I would expect nothing less from you in terms of superhero answers. Okay, just for the folks at home or in front of their computer who are watching this, this
I'm
may
in front of
want
my computer at
this
home.
this
So is
may
it for
one
me?
this one may take a while.
Oh boy.
This is never a question that we would actually ask a guest. It's just one of those questions that I get to torture Cami with because we have time to do it. So yes, drink up, hydrate, because this one may take a while.
Do I have
Are
to
you
name
ready?
actors?
Yep.
I hate these. They're the worst because I can't remember
I
anyone's
will I
names.
will help you with the names. I will try
Okay.
my best to help you with the names on the
Okay.
fly. But I
Am
think
I
it's a really good
casting
one.
something again?
Yes.
Oh
And
my God,
and
you
I
love to make me cast movies, and I'm so bad at it. Okay,
it doesn't have to be a movie, it could be a TV show.
that's true. Am I casting a TV show?
Yes.
Okay.
So the and it's not one like there've been so many that they've recast as like Starsky and Hutch and Chips and Baywatch and all those kind of things. So this was one I thought of. I always try and find ones that should be but haven't been.
Okay.
And this one has Brady Bunch level complexity in the
Oof.
recasting. But so I'm going to keep it to 5 characters.
Oh,
Because I made you do 4 characters last time. So I'm upping it. Are you ready? Take another swig. All right. Here we go.
okay.
I hope the viewers are ready for this mayhem. Okay, Cami,
Yes, sir.
you are charged. It's post strike, post writer
Okay.
strike,
That was
post actor strike.
okay.
We're back. That means everybody's fair game. All those folks are actually getting
Did it turn out
paid.
well? Did everyone did it
Yes,
like they're getting paid well? They've got
they're getting
coverage.
paid
They have
well.
insurance. They're going to be able to retire.
They have control over what AI is writing and where their intellectual property begins and ends. So it's a
Sick days, health insurance.
It's a utopian entertainment world.
Okay.
So anybody is fair game for this question. You have been asked to recast The Love Boat.
The Love Boat.
In order to do that,
we'll be making another run.
In order to do that, you have to recast Captain Stubing, Isaac, Julie, the cruise director, Doc, and Gopher.
Isaac, Julie, Doc, and Gopher.
Where would you like to begin?
In hell, you bastard. What? Okay.
Okay. Who is it?
Sean Hayes as Julie, the cruise director.
Okay. Nice. I like that.
Leslie Jones as Stubing.
Leslie Jones is Stubing.
Yes, Leslie Jones is Stubing. You heard me.
Cool.
Wait, is Doc the little nerdy brunette white man? Which one is Doc?
Doc's the one with the
Gopher?
glasses. He's the Doc is the physician on board.
Okay, that's why his name is Doc. Which Gopher's like the little
Gopher's the dark brown
white
hair, short guy who runs around and gets stuff done. Yes.
Yeah, he's okay. He didn't really make a huge impression with me, to be honest.
He was on every show.
I know, but it didn't really. Isaac. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal is Isaac.
He's the bartender.
Yeah.
Pedro Pascal would be the world's best charming cruise ship bartender.
Discotheque bartender. Okay, cool.
Yes.
You got the two white dudes, Doc and Gopher, left. Doc had glasses, if that helps.
Can I just cast Ali Wong again?
You could, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Ali Wong is Doc.
Yeah.
And then
I really like her, and like her comfort in talking about tampons with people, I think would be a great benefit as a cruise ship doctor.
Yes, that's a great example of what a cruise ship doctor needs to talk about.
I've never been on a cruise. I don't know.
Right.
I assume there's a lot of vomiting and sexually transmitted infections and diseases. This is what I assume. Probably. Vomiting and sex.
That's the reason most people go on cruises, is for the vomiting and the STDs. So
I assume that there's a lot of sex and vomiting on cruise ships. People who've been on cruises, you can tell me, is that what happens? Sex and vomiting?
You're just
either from the
Gopher.
drinking.
Come on. I think if it were me,
I
can give you a hint.
I'm working on a few people for Gopher, but I kind of want to go with, I want to get a throwback to the Super Mario Brothers movie and go Charlie Day.
Yeah, I think that's the right answer. He would be a perfect Gopher because he's just wacky enough. Good. You did it. You made it all the way through.
But I'm rethinking my Leslie Jones casting because I just remembered something. Why? I could typecast an amazing character actor whose name I can't remember. I could recast the captain from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he was so great. He was in so many other amazing movies, but I just feel like
what is his name?
Oh, I love him. And his voice is so
very soothing.
But I would like to see the opportunity for him to be like the brighter, like, because
what if
they could be co-captains?
No, what if we did it that Stubing every week? Stubing was played by a different actor, but
oh my god,
but nobody acted like it was anybody different. It was just consistent the whole time.
I'm okay with that. That would be amazing. Right, cool. Okay, because
right.
I like Leslie Jones Stubing because of the brightness that she brings to things, and this it's like bright sternness that I love. And then I was thinking of the captain. He's in so many things. I keep thinking of him in Glory because they're so different. But he brings this dull sternness that is somehow like I feel like you have to have the ability to be really stern and have a personality about it in order to be the captain of a cruise ship where there are so many STIs and STDs and vomiting.
Right. And Ryan said Sex and Vomiting was the name of his band in high school. Maybe. I mean, that'd be a good band name.
I don't know. Was that the right hand fingers thing? I don't know.
But yeah.
I love you.
All right. All
Hey,
right, we're done.
This is the devil and rock and roll, right? Isn't it?
Now you're doing shadow puppets. I don't know what you're doing.
Was
it's
that
a
5?
dog. Yes, that's 5.
Oh, thank God. All
right.
That was of the things you've asked me to recast. That was more fun. Also,
that
just
seemed
give
easier.
You some additional actionable feedback. I like it better when you specifically call out for me. You're casting these 5 parts rather than just saying cast as much of the Brady Bunch as you'd like to.
Oh, okay.
So the way that you asked that question this week was really good.
Cool, thanks. I tried to do that with Golden Girls too, but I guess I didn't. You just knew them well enough that you're like, oh, it's da-da-da-da-da. So, okay.
I was still upset about being asked to recast that, but.
So we've made it through another edition of Mildly Interesting Questions. If there are any of those production crew where you're like, ooh, that would be a good one, you should ask guests, either let us know in chat or, you can always comment on our actual episodes where we're asking guests questions.
I'm thinking we could start doing them as surveys or polls on Instagram for the ones that are either or.
Yeah, or we have the option on YouTube has that polling feature on the community tab too. So we could.
That's just something to think about for the future.
We could do that as well. Anything else before I jump into the stats portion of the agenda?
No, I'm all done.
Okay, so for folks who don't know, we started this channel January 27th ish, I think, is when we uploaded our very first video. So we're right at about 6 months. We made a decision when we started this project. Cami and I had done a bunch of podcasting in the past. We'd done some YouTube, but we decided that we wanted to be just totally transparent with what we were seeing, how the channel was going, where we were getting frustrated, like all those kind of things. And so part of what I committed to doing and being transparent with are the statistics on what we're seeing on our YouTube channel. So anything to add there, Cami?
No, I think that was a great summation. And we continue to try to bring that same transparency as what you're saying.
Yeah. And so every week I will record a short with our stats for that week that we're tracking. But what we'll do at the production meetings on a monthly basis is I will give you what the numbers were the last time we met with the production crew and what the numbers are currently. So you can kind of see the difference in those things. So the last time we held a production meeting was June 27th. That was 5 months into the YouTube channel. So I'll give you the subject, I'll give you the 2 stats and then move on to the next subject. So last time around, YouTube subscriptions, we were at 296. Now we're at 328. Last time, in terms of YouTube views, we were at 112,000. This time we're at 132,275. Last time we were at 940 watch hours. This time we're at 1,061 watch hours. YouTube stats. We do an audio version of this as well, a podcast. If you're more into having the podcast, then we're on all of the podcasty platforms. You can subscribe
wherever
if you like.
Podcasts can be heard.
Yes, wherever you grab your finely crafted podcast. So last month we were at 1408 in terms of downloads. This month we're at 1632 in terms of how many downloads of our podcast. We have an Instagram account where we post a lot of reels and short form content and images, that kind of thing. We had 240 followers last month. This month we're up to 259. And then we publish a monthly newsletter on Substack so that you don't have to pay attention to us week to week. We send you the newsletter so you can catch up on all the people we've talked to and all that kind of stuff. And we were originally at 45 subscribers last month, and we're up to 54 now. So those are our stats. That's how we're doing.
How do you feel about having gained 9 subscribers to your beloved newsletter?
I like doing the newsletter. I think it's a really helpful way to like encapsulate the content so people don't have to pay attention to this insanity day in and day out. So I'm glad people are subscribing. But I also realize not everybody likes reading newsletters and consuming content that way. So
I feel like
I'm
it's
happy
nice.
that
I feel like for you, it's also a way to reflect on what you've done. And
yeah, I forget how
wonder
much
about,
we've done
yeah.
in any given month where I'm like, oh, yeah, that guest was that recently. That seems like ages ago. And so, yeah, that's helpful too.
Yeah. We have a couple of recorded episodes that were recorded and haven't come out yet that I'm like, when it was like months ago, right? No, it wasn't months ago. It was
Last week.
last week.
So yeah, well, for people who don't follow the schedule that closely, we drop new episodes every Thursday for both the podcast in the morning, and then YouTube later in the day, so that you can watch it over the weekend and relax, or put it on late at night and use my dull droning voice to put you to sleep. Whatever you want to do, just so long as we get the watch hours, we don't really care.
I care.
Oh, Cami cares. Cool.
I'm not sure how to care properly in that particular scenario that you laid out there, but I care.
Okay. Done with stats. Now on to production equipment. Let's discuss. We had some equipment concerns and some new equipment that you want to test drive.
Let's talk about your equipment concerns first because it's a longer standing issue.
Okay.
I heard you breathe just now, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. So my concern is I've had this podcast mic forever, and I really love it, and I love that it is like a physical thing that's in my face that reminds me I'm talking to you and I need to look at you. But the problem is, this is one of those mics you have to be really close to for it to pick up. And because of that, it's picking up a lot of my breathing, even if I have a pop filter. So it's causing a lot of editing for me because I'm having to take out pauses that have these huge breaths in them that I don't want you to have to listen to. So what we're considering is potentially upgrading equipment by getting me a new mic. Now, what I think we could use feedback from the production crew on is, no, it's not worth spending it, or like that breathing doesn't bug me that much. Don't worry about it. Or, yes, we would really appreciate it if you would fix that issue because it's been driving me nuts the whole time. And I was hoping someone would mention it. So that's all we're looking for feedback on is, new mic, not a new mic. Happy to go either way. If you're like, oh no, we really like the sound on this mic, then we'll keep it going. But I'm personally leaning toward upgrading my mic so that you don't have to listen to me being a mouth breather in your ears on the podcast or in your face on the YouTubes.
I have an opinion on this.
Okay.
I think you should do whatever is going to make you feel happier and better. I think I really do value the opinion and input of the production team. That being said, you feel compelled to edit those breaths out, and it's
Yeah.
a lot of additional work for you. And I think this is another moment to be transparent about the level of work that's being done. It's the work is all Rick. He's doing the work. I just show up for the conversations and I ask questions and talk to our guests and things. So if it's making it harder for you, I think that we need to put you first in this particular scenario.
Okay. I mean, I appreciate that. I'm just saying if I'm assuming it's a problem that's not really a problem, then I would like to know that, because if it's
That's
not
fair.
causing a problem
Yeah.
for other people, then there's no reason to
Well,
go through
how do they know though? Because you edit the breaths out.
because they can hear them on here.
Oh, that's fair.
anytime we do long form, I do a bunch of editing on the shorts, because there's nothing more annoying than trying to watch something that's short form and listening to somebody breathe as part of the thing. So I try and take a lot of those out. But yeah, that's
Okay.
that's all I was saying. All right, as I take a breath into the mic. And Ryan's like, yeah, I can hear you breathing right now.
That's
So it's
creepy.
kind of like
I can
I have
hear
to
you
do I
breathing.
have to do chocolate rain, where I'm like, I move away from the mic to take a breath. Sorry if that old YouTube meme does not resonate with people watching, but cool. So that's the question I had, equipment wise. I feel like that's another equipment question, but it's more a Cami one. He can't hear me breathe. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, because I listen for it, so I might be overly sensitive. I feel like I've got my lighting good. It's not fantastic, but it's at least slightly dramatic and decent. We're thinking about investing in a new light for Cami, right? You've been looking at a new ring light, like new Lume
It's not a
Cube
ring
thing.
light. It's not a ring light though. It is made by Loom and it
Hmm.
has two, so it's got three things,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Two of them are lights and one of them is a clamp for your phone, so you can film at different angles. You can film things like down beneath here, you can film things looking at you, and you can move around the light so that it is going where you want it to be depending on where you need it. I don't know, I think lights are pretty self-explanatory. I was looking at that. I think that that's a better option for me, but that's in part because I'm going through some stuff right now and I'm trying to record some content that's for my personal use.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those like, yeah, potentially something that I'm using. And that is two parts. So there's the lighting, and then I've also been trying, like, there's some just Cami content for my own personal use that I want to use, where I don't want to be sitting here in front of a microphone. And then the double fun is I got these little things because Rick said they were advertising them to him on Instagram. So I looked for them anyway. We have one of our former guests that will be an again guest has tapped in and said, "Hey, I'm ready to do my second episode, but can we go do it at this location?" And so I'm also looking at these little microphones as a way to take it on the road. I don't know how we mic Rick because he needs the giant breather mic, but the guest and I, we can have these cute little things. We can also just get do we just get another one of these and then everyone is mic'd? I'm not sure how this works. I'm not the
Yeah,
technical one.
I mean, I would be fine with it just being a single host interview. I would just be there to produce. Like, I'm cool with that. That's not a big deal to me.
Or we can just get more microphones.
Or I could just use my phone as my microphone, whatever. We could figure something out.
Kunkin
But
Dassner style.
yeah, exactly. Okay, so there's that, and then there's also, we've been thinking through from a production standpoint, just maybe we need to branch out from just kind of like talking head kind of stuff, and like, and where we no just like where we are, and like sometimes we've done different like handheld camera
Yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
people have appreciated. So just maybe from time to time to break it up a little. And one of those that we're kind of teasing right now is one of our guests runs a startup that happens to have a vehicle that people can ride in, and we've been thinking about broadcasting from, or at least recording from that vehicle. So just to tease it a little bit, and you'll know
thing we
it
can
when
get
you
in
see
that
it
will go places
pretty fast. So so stay tuned. That'll be, but we need to figure out
it's a bullet train.
We need to figure out the equipment to make that happen. So we'll figure that out. Anything else equipment wise?
No, unless you can figure out a piece of equipment to make my back stop hurting while I sit here.
Maybe we need new seating.
No, I love this seating. Maybe I need to record somewhere that's not the couch. That's possible.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. And thank you again, Ryan, for all the feedback. Really appreciate it. Sorry, I'm not on my keyboard. That's the other part of the mic is like, even if I wind up keeping this mic, I would like to get an arm or something so I have my desk space back, because that's always a challenge too. Okay, the last thing I wanted to touch on from a production standpoint, we realize that summer is generally slow. Like, people aren't sitting around watching YouTube. Summer in the Northern Hemisphere. Most of our viewers are North American. We have a few European viewers, but most everybody who is watching is in the Northern Hemisphere. So we're a little biased in that regard. It's summer in the Northern Hemisphere. And what happens in YouTube world is views go down because people are spending time outside and that kind of thing. So we expect that. We expect that. Please do get outside, please. But we expect that seasonality. But something that's happened recently, and I don't know if it's because we're a new channel and we were getting like juiced for a while because we were a new channel and they were trying to get us views or what was going on. But for the longest time, we would publish not long form video, but when we published our shorts on YouTube, short form, there would be almost immediate engagement. And even if it wasn't massive engagement, like even if it's 20 people, it would like happen immediately and then trail off. And what we've noticed recently is, so we were trying to like figure out like, when should we be publishing so that we get the most views, and trying to figure out how to strategically publish shorts so that they were getting the reception we wanted them to have. And what we've noticed recently is I can publish a short whenever and it will get 0 views for some amount of time, and then randomly hours later it will start getting views, and I cannot figure out the when, why, or how that is happening. And so I don't know if that's,
he really wants to figure it out. It's driving him bananas.
I'm really curious about it, just like to make sure it's not something I'm doing wrong or that I've screwed up on the channel, because that would be unfortunate. But it's just something interesting that we've noticed. And I was wondering if other people with more established channels are like, oh yeah, that's how it works after 6 months. Or like if people with other new channels are like, no, I'm still seeing the same thing I've always seen. So if you have any feedback, if you're watching this replay, chime in and let Scott Blumquist is like, computers are weird, man. Yeah, that's true. And there are computers working on my videos and telling them when to go. So I don't know.
Tell me a computer doesn't have a personality, and I'm going to show you a person who has never used a computer.
Yeah, but I'm just curious about that from a stat standpoint. And Ryan, oh, that's a good suggestion. Ryan had a suggestion on maybe like so you can keep that seat, but maybe like those stadium style seats that you like sit on and they give you the back support. Good thinking. I like that
smart.
one.
That's exactly. I try to stack up the pillows behind me. That's what I need to do.
Fantastic. That's smart. It's like a booster seat for Cami while she's recording.
I'm not a tall person, but I didn't know it was short enough that I still needed a booster.
All right. So shorts research, if anybody has any shorts research, would really appreciate it. We're nearing time. Is there anything else. I want to respect the production crew and all the stuff they have to do. Anything else you want to add, Cami?
Shorts, erratic, run of show, Leslie Jones, Pedro Pascal. No, my notes have
Cool.
mushed into each other.
Yeah, it sounds like you captured all the high points of the last 45 minutes. All right. So thank you as always, production crew, for showing up. We realize this is a volunteer job for you at this point in time, but you'll be getting positive annual reviews from the executives at Mildly Interesting People and the producer and host, I guess, if that's worthwhile.
And wait, I did think I've started. Never mind. I'm not going to. I want it to be a secret.
All right. Okay. So secrets. I think the only thing I'll say before we sign off and let y'all go back to far more interesting things is we do this every last-ish Tuesday.
One Tuesday at the end of the month.
Yeah. So it's like the last-ish Tuesday, 7 p.m. I'll go ahead and after we shut down today, I'll go ahead and set up the one for next month so people can get the notifications and announcements. As always,
if people have things that they would like to add to the agenda before next month's Mildly Interesting People production meeting, how could they best do that, Rick?
There are two ways. One, you can comment on the replay of this live and just let us know. And then the other one is we have a service called Pod Inbox. So like your email inbox, but starts with pod, PODINBOX.com, which is basically like leaving a voicemail for us. So if you go to podinbox.com slash MIP for Mildly Interesting People, so slash MIP, you'll be able to leave a voicemail for us there. And, we may use it on the show and would be happy to do that if you're cool with that. But that's a good way to leave us agenda items for an upcoming production meeting. And as always, new episodes drop on Thursday. We'd appreciate it if you took the time to watch them and give us feedback. We're always looking for that feedback, and it's really appreciated. But even more so, we appreciate you carving time out of your Tuesday to come hang out with us. So thank you again, production crew, for doing that. We will see you in about a month live and look forward to hanging out again. So thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great night or day or whenever you listen.